Just cover this news conference, and we understand the search is ongoing, Andy. And what was your impression with what Captain Johansson had to say?
Well, it really is amazing that just yesterday they had a drill for something exactly like this. It was a code white, and what they went through yesterday was an active shooter on the base here, and they went through that yesterday. So everything played out, they thought, very well. They knew who to call. They were in touch with the proper people. The one arm, the people were talking to each other. The right hand knew what the left hand was doing, and they were really able to get through the early parts of this quickly. He could not say anything more about the weapon. Of course, the question is, as it was pointed out, is that we have a sign here that says, no weapons on base, and right over here, if you will, no weapons allowed. And so it's raising the question exactly how this knife got on. But, as the captain brought up, and he was not saying that it was a pocket knife, but you can't keep every pocket knife off of the medical facility here. I asked a couple of questions he could not answer, which are critical to this story. And those questions are these. What was the relationship between the victim and the suspect? How did they know each other? What led to the argument? Did they know each other before? And they did. They were familiar with each other, and so they knew each other, and an argument led to what happened. We also found out that the victim's wife is here, and the captain said in good spirits under the conditions. You heard about the victim's condition, which is critical. He was stabbed several times and by the knife. And I had asked earlier in the last news conference if he took the knife with him, the suspect, and he wouldn't comment on that. And so we continue not to get the critical questions answered that will finally unravel this mystery that has played out on this day here at the medical center.
Andy, we heard the captain say that slowly and methodically they are now going through these buildings, starting with the hospital, to let people go. You've been out there for almost the entire 5 hours they've been searching. You can't see inside, but what can you see outside? How perhaps have things changed since you've been out there?
Well, that's an excellent question. We can't see inside the buildings, but we can see what leads up to the law enforcement going in to search the building. And they go in. We have several shots with at least 9 law enforcement officers going into one barracks and then going into the next. And what they're doing is they're going room by room and building by building. The captain would not go into the details as to the buildings that have already been searched, but we certainly have seen this. Now, earlier today, there was a lot of law enforcement activity, and then it sort of waned. Then the helicopters came out. I asked the question, do you believe that this is a search only on the medical facility property? And they can't answer that. They need to, when I asked that question, there are other parts of the medical facility area that are being searched, one area down by the water, but obviously we have not had any reports of any other types of attacks around this area. So then it leads the question to this. Was this a very specific, isolated attack? 2 people who had an argument, and that was the lone target of the attack, and that will be the only person who is attacked. We don't know that to the very end until the day is done and the suspect is in custody, but it is leading one to believe that this was a very isolated incident, person against person, argument ensued, he got stabbed, the victim stabbed several times, and was taken to into the medical facility.
Earlier today, we saw SWAT activity there from Portsmouth and other police agencies. Have you noticed that continuing right now, or has that been de-emphasized, so to speak?
Well, they're on standby, and obviously when you have investigations like this, every time they get a tip that they think is worthwhile, they are not giving us a call and saying, hey, we're on our way to this address. They aren't doing that. So there could be searches going on at other areas. We don't know. We do know that Chesapeake SWAT was brought in. There are a couple of other SWAT units here. Canines have been brought in. And we do know that they are on standby. And right before the news conference, a number of law enforcement left. We don't know why they left, but they certainly are inside and on standby over here. But it is important to note that there could be other searches going on, and we just might not know where they are. But when I was asking the question about the suspect Wilbur Harwell, you know, I asked the questions. These were the questions we want to know. What kind of a sailor was he? What kind of a record did he have? What kind of a record does he have? Is he known to you? Have there been problems in the past? What is the relationship to the suspect to the victim? These are all the important questions that will finally unravel this mystery.
I want to emphasize to our viewers, just about 30 seconds ago, you saw video of SWAT personnel running on the base. That was taped from earlier today, so that was not a live picture. I want to make that clear to our viewers.
Make sure everyone knows what's going on there.
Right.
Andy Fox, thank you so much. We'll get back to you as you go gather more information there at the scene.